Welcome to REI Pro Talk, where real estate investors turn for the latest news, tips, and tricks from the real in the trenches pros. Tune in to hear Chris Goff, the nation's premier real estate investing powerhouse. Join up with other top pros in the investing world as they cover every topic. No fluff, no filler, no holds barred. All you need to know from start to paycheck.
All right, next question is from Michael. Michael, are you able to ask it live? I'll turn it on. If not, I'll ask it for you.
Yeah, I can ask the question. I guess I'm just looking for better ways to market, and I'm wondering if you guys think texting is a good solution, and if so, what ones would you suggest to take the data from skip tracing and put it into?
As a company, we have stayed away from texting. Could we provide you the capability and integrate it with our skip trace results reports where you could auto text this out? Absolutely, we could. We were reading the laws around that. I know it started tightening up, back when I was in Georgia, but now here in Florida, it's even more strict. And what we're finding is if you don't specifically have permission to send a text message directly to that person's cell phone, then it's more or less illegal. And so we have chosen as a company not to open up auto texting directly from the platform just to protect you guys. There is, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it could be, I think, $10,000 or $15,000 per occurrence penalty. I know there's a lot of people doing it. I know there's a lot of platforms out there. I reached out to some of those platforms, discussed it with them. We wanted to do something actually for REI Pro actually. And so, we have stuff that we want to market. And when I reached out to them, they had to provide a whole use case. Well, why are you sending this text message to people? Are these your customers? Do you have permission to do so? There was this whole security onboarding process that we had to go through. And just by going through that, you have to have a reason to send a text to somebody. So I typically discourage texting for that reason. I know a lot of people that do it, but from our platform, we don't do it. Now, could you export our list and go to a third party and do it yourself? Sure, you could do that. And then the onus is on you, as far as how you meet all the guidelines is whether or not you can or can't do that. Does that answer your question, Michael?
Yeah, I think it does. Is calling kind of the same thing or a little bit less stringent, would you say?
Well, calling's one of those, because, we pull back the cell phone numbers. And I remember I was doing a deal. I called a guy, he was walking through the airport. And I was saying, hey, I want to talk to you about your house over here, 123 Main Street and all this stuff. And then, of course, he said, well, I'm in the airport. Can I call you back? And then when he called me back, he's just, so, well, first off, how'd you get my number? And I said, well, as
Your
a professional investor, blah, 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 it's all public information for the most part. I said, but let me ask you a question. Do you want to sell that house, so to speak? And I kind of redirected the question. Generally, when you're calling to talk to somebody about their situation or their house, you're not really trying to sell them anything. Like, I'm not trying to sell a product to you, which is, we all get annoying if it's a life insurance, or God forbid we get these text messages and phone calls about my car's insurance. It's not that same type of thing. You're actually trying to look at buying something from somebody. So I look at phone calls as a little bit different. I'm not trying to solicit information like that. I'm trying to either help them out of their situation, or I'm trying to buy something from them, not sell something to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's the deal with the whole text message. If I pick up my phone and I happen to know your cell phone number and I send you a direct text from my personal cell phone to your personal cell phone, that's me as a person consciously typing the message. That may just be a gray line there, but where you really get into trouble is these auto dialers. And that's where the FCC and the laws around the Consumer Protection Act really kick in, is you're using an automated platform to auto send out massive amounts of text messages. And that's where I think the laws are really pretty clear that you can't do that. So when you're placing a phone call to somebody as well, it's you picking up the phone. You're not auto dialing, you're calling them. So I don't think a lot of that stuff really applies at that point.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thanks for asking that question.
My 2 cents on hey, look, we can find an easier way to do something. let's go do it. The problem is, you know, a lot of people get really frustrated when they get spammed on their phone, especially text messages. So we're kind of setting that wrong, you know, impression right from the beginning, you know, because they're going to be, how'd you get my number? What are you talking about? Stop texting me. I don't know who you are. And that's where you run into issues. But, you know, I think we're all looking for unique, better ways to market. We just got to get creative. You know, we have to unfortunately follow the rules, you know, and they change the rules all the time. It seems like, I mean, they've changed the rules over the last 20 years of several different things that we do. It's just, you know, who moved the cheese? We just got to go find that better way. The other issue, Bo, that a lot of people may not know about the texting thing is there are companies in our space that actually do it. And if they do allow it, I would surely be reading the fine print in those disclosures when you sign up, you know, because
Right.
you got to protect yourself.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, as a company from a technical standpoint, we could offer it and just say, here, blast it out and do it. And, you know, of course, we would have to put in our fine print of our terms and conditions that you understand that auto texting features, blah, 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 blah. The onus is on you to you follow the laws,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. So it's one of those I would suggest you read the Consumer Protection Act when it deals with texting and those types of things so that you're clear as to what you can and can't do.
Good question, though.
That really good question. We do get that question, you know, a lot actually.
Thanks for listening to REI Pro Talk. If you've ever wanted to jump into the real estate game, get started with the #1 software for real estate investors on the planet, REI Pro. Start for free at www.myreipro.com.